So let's do a problem, kind of like your problem for number 20. We'll take a look at that. Let's say I got an investment at 58.5 and I got these cash flows, and your guys' are similar. And I put these numbers over here, and you'll want to do the same for yours, and I'll show you why in a minute, because it asks us to calculate a couple things. It says Turner Video will invest, and your guys' number's different, but the firm's cost of capital is 10%. The investment will provide the following, and the internal rate of return is 11%. So I've got the 10% and the 11% up here, and then it says if the reinvestment assumption of the net present value method is used, what will be the total value of the inflows after 5 years? So it's saying I'm going to have these kinds of cash flows, but if I can reinvest them at, when I'm talking about the net present value one, I'm going to use my cost of capital. So if I can reinvest these cash flows at whatever my cost of capital is, what's that going to be worth to me in the future? And certainly then will it exceed my investment? Okay. The reason I put these numbers in here, I'll show you that real shortly. So if we hit delete, we'll just come up here, and in this case we're going to use our future value, which you guys remember. I got to go to financial and come down here to future value. Okay, my rate, I'm going to use this, and I'm going to hit my F4 after that because I want that to be locked in. My number of periods, that's where this comes in. Okay, because it says that my cash flows come at the end of the year, and so really at the end of the first year I'm only going to have 4 years left, okay, for this to be reinvested and earn any interest, right? So I just make reference to that, and I've got this down here, so it's going to slide along with me. I don't have a payment in this case. Instead I have a present value, which is this. I do believe I want to enter that as a negative number, so I'll put my negative in there. Okay, and I hit OK, and there we go. Ooh, kind of strange. It ended up being the same number as that one, and I guess at 10%, that would kind of make some sense there. So after that, because I've got that in there, you know, I've got this one locked in, I can simply drag this down. Okay, and then I get down here and I can sum those up. I don't want to sum my 10%, but I get the rest of the numbers, and there we have it. So I'm going to have $92,222 if I reinvest that. The second question is really the same, and it just says, well, if the reinvestment assumption of the internal rate of return method, so instead of doing the calculations like this, we have to use an internal rate of return number, which they give us is 11%. So again, that's just saying that we're going to take this money and reinvest it as it comes in at 11%. So, you know, again, quickly, I'll just do that. My future value, boom, most recently used, future value, okay. My rate, boom, lock that in with an F4. Number of periods, this one over here. My payment amount, enter that as a negative, and ooh, I don't want that as a payment. Let's get rid of that. Dang. Easy to make those types of errors, so we got to be careful. I want that as my present value amount. Hit OK. I should be able to slide that down, and I do, and then I total it, and that's what I get. In both cases it's fine, and obviously I would expect this one to be a little bit bigger. And so then it says, generally, is one investment assumption likely to be better than the other? What I would tell you is this, is that most times I probably wouldn't use either one. I'll let you guys do some reading though and give an answer to that, but most times I probably wouldn't use either, because my reinvestment's probably going to be at whatever some current rates are, you know, and that's going to be more like CD rates or, you know, government bonds or those types of things. When you get into bigger companies and you have excess cash, usually you don't get an opportunity to reinvest it at your cost of capital or internal rate of return. You usually get to invest it at market rates. There you have 12-20.